Hello, my name is Tatiana the Slow Crafter, and I am back for 2024 with the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. You may say, where have you been all year? You haven't made one video, and that would be true. But I did promise myself that I would do the same thing as I did last year with this Crafty Advent Calendar and finish out the year with at least 24 Crafty Surprise videos. And so that's what I'm going to do. And first of all, I want to say that I love the color scheme and the design of the inside of this calendar very, very much. So I find that inspiring on its own. And without further ado, let's open day one, which is right here, and see what we have got to start out this 2024 Advent calendar season. Ta-da! What is it? It's a die, and it's the balloon die, so I don't think that's much of a surprise because we saw the balloon die on the packaging, didn't we? Cute little balloon die. Oh, this is a surprise to me anyway. It says hello. Hello in a balloon die. Okay, so I'll sort this all out and I'll make a card and I'll get back to you. All right, I'll start off by showing you this glitter paper that I got at Michael's. It's a Recollections brand of glitter paper, and it has black as one of the colors, and I'm kind of excited about using that black for something. Anyway, we are using the gold here to create the stripes on the balloon. And as you see, I just flipped it over because I remembered that I actually cut the other side first thinking I was going to use that color, but instead I'm going to use this darker color, and that means that it doesn't have the little indentations. So you can see I'm lining it up with the grid to make sure I've centered it, because when you cut that balloon piece, it will have these indentations, as I just said, that show you exactly where to put the stripes. But I'm winging it here because I don't have that, and I'm not 100% winging it because I am using the grid to help me keep it straight, which is probably what that grid was intended for. And once I get those stripes on there straight, I'm going to use my very heavy block that I found at Winners to set the glue. I found this great big thing at Winners and it was on sale, and I thought, what is this? It's just a big paperweight. And then it occurred to me, whoa, this would be great to put on things as the glue is drying. So I bought it and I use it all the time. Now I'm adding the strings to the basket, and at first I was like, do I put the strings on top of the basket or to put the basket on top of the strings? But it looks better with the strings on top of the basket. And now I'm assembling the little bow, which is very easy. You just put one little dot of glue and smush it down, and then you've got a bow. And next up, I'm going to create the flags that run across the balloon by using this Galaxy Gold Brilliance ink, which is a pigment ink, and just creating a strip of it by rubbing it back and forth across the paper, and then I'm going to cut the flags out of that. Now you can cut the flags individually out of different colors, or you could cut the strip out and then color them yourself if you like to match the cardstock you're using. I just felt like there was a lot of colors going on with this card, so I decided to just keep it very simple with the gold. I'm going to just attach the strings to the balloon, and keep in mind when you're gluing this that you don't need to glue the entire back of that piece I'm holding in my right hand. You only need to put the glue at the top half because that's all that's going to be touching the balloon. I am wiping off the excess glue because I didn't do that myself. And attaching the flags to the balloon is a very satisfying feeling. I think because it just is the trim that makes it feel like it's complete. It's sort of like when you're sewing and you've spent all this time cutting and putting your pieces together and sewing, and then you put the buttons on at the very end and it's just like, the piece is finished. Now it's time to put the little bow on, and I can't remember where they put it on the packaging, but you can put it on the basket, you can put it up above on the flags. I think I switched it up subsequently on the other balloon pieces. Okay, now we're going to work on the background of the card, and I'm showing you the set of dies that the clouds that I'm using came from, and it was a past Spellbinders kit. I don't remember the month or where I even got it, but you can use any cloud die that you have in your possession, or just cut some clouds out yourself if you like. But I would suggest cutting out a lot of them, because when you get to this stage, you're creating a background with them, you're creating a pattern, and you want to have a lot of them. And added to that fact is the fact that once I got them in position, I wanted a second layer of them, so cut a lot of them out. Now I'm arranging them so that some of them hang off the edge of the card, because that looks a little better, I think. And I'm also leaving a space in the middle of the card, because that's where I've already decided I'm going to put the sentiment. So the ones that are overlapping are going to be popped up with some foam, and the ones that I put down first, the first layer, I'm just going to use glue to attach those. I'll take this opportunity to discuss my schedule as far as the Crafty Advent Calendar goes. I'm pretty sure that I will not have enough time to make a detailed video like this. It just so happens that it's a Sunday and it's the first card, so I'm going to take that opportunity to kind of, show the process. But for the rest of the week, I'm probably just going to have enough time to rip open the door and go create a card quickly and then show you what I've made, which is what I think I did last year. Maybe next weekend I might have time again, or if there's some day during the week where I get off work early or something, I might be able to create a long video. But this is probably going to be the longest video that I'll make for a while. I work for a major courier company, and I live in Canada, and right now Canada Post is on strike, and that's making it very difficult for Canadians to get their Christmas packages out. And it occurred to me the other day that I was getting a little bit stressed about how I was going to get all my Christmas cards made and make all the cards for the Advent calendar, because I'm behind with my Christmas cards, as I usually am. And then I realized that I can't mail them anyway, because the postal service is not functioning at the moment. So whether they get back to work by the time it's still reasonable to mail out a Christmas card, I don't know. I should probably have some Christmas cards ready just in case that happens, but at this point in time, nothing is moving at all. So I'll just focus on the Advent calendar, I guess. And it's a little bit depressing. I want to get the Christmas cards out, and yet I haven't made them, so it's a bit of a relief that the Postal Service is not going. But I suspect that they're going to get going before Christmas. I just have that feeling, and so I should probably make some cards tonight. It's just really, I know everybody's busy. That's a given, especially at this time of year. But I have a job where I go to work and I don't get home until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and then I have to have a shower, and I like to eat something at that point in the day. And by that time, it's like 9 o'clock, and so I'm just going to have enough time, as I said, to open the window of the calendar and make probably a less intensive card than this, and then I'll just pop on and say, here's the card I made, and I'll just explain how I made it. So you can see now that I've put my first layer down with glue, and now I'm going to be using 2 different thicknesses of foam tape. I have in my hand the 1 millimeter thickness, and that's what I'm going to use to secure this second layer of clouds, because that one layer, that's my favorite. I use it all the time. It doesn't give your die cuts a lot of dimension, but it just gives it enough that you can see that they're standing up off the paper, and maybe just a little bit of a shadow just gives it a hint. And if you use the 1mm, then you're free to create multiple layers on a card. You can have 2 and 3 layer cards if you like. And there's the last of the clouds going down, and the background is complete. And then I'm going to turn it over and clip off the clouds that overhang the sides of the card. Then I'm going to turn it around, and I've already clipped off most of the clouds, but just to speed it up, I just want to show you that I just clipped off the edges. And now the background is done, and it's very satisfying. And I want to also mention that I took into account the color scheme of the inside of the advent calendar. I really liked it. It was a few shades of red, as I recall, and a blue, and I think there's black and white. I took all those colors from that color scheme to make this card, and it turned out pretty well, I think. Now, when you're attaching the balloons, if you're going to make this card, can you see I didn't take the backer off the basket adhesive? So that I'm going to have to go and do that. I just realized that from looking at this video. Anyway, the clouds are going to be different layers. So when this is 2mm foam tape that I just carelessly dropped right onto my die cut. And I'm using that because the balloon, the part of the balloon that I'm putting it on, which I think is it the basket, is going to be on just the bare card, and then the top part of the balloon I'm going to go back to using the 1mm because it's going to be sitting on top of a cloud which has already been raised up. So just to keep it all even, it gets a little complicated. You have to think about how many different layers of foam tape and of glue you've got going on at the moment, just so that the balloon doesn't get all wonky. So there, that'll just be all even now. And then the last one, I think the last one, see the top of it, the balloon part, is just going to be sitting on a blank space. So I'm just going to put glue on that part instead of foam tape, just so that it's all even. And that time I actually remembered to take off the backing from the basket. And that completes this card. So thank you very much for watching. I will be creating a video every day. As I said before, if you'd like to subscribe, you can watch them all one day after the next. And you can give me a like if you like it. And here are some close-ups, and I'll see you tomorrow on day 2. Thanks for watching. Bye.